Hi, it's day 106 in our Route 66 journey through the Bible. We're moving on through. We're in 1 Kings chapter 8 and 9, two chapters for today. Solomon has been working on the temple. He's got his crew together, and so let's kind of look and see what these two chapters have to tell us, and maybe some lessons that we can learn from that. So that's pretty good. The chapter 8, Solomon dedicates the temple. He gathers all the leaders. He brings in the Ark of the Covenant into the temple, and it's all finished. When the ark comes in, the glory of God fills the temple, the presence of God, the symbol of the presence of God, that cloud that comes in there. Solomon gives a heartfelt prayer of dedication, praising God for his faithfulness and for all that he has done, and asks God to hear the prayers of his people, whether they be while they're in the land or even if they're in exile. If problems happen and they get kicked out of the country, which it did happen, that God would hear the prayers of his people. It then blesses the people, offers sacrifice. It's an important historic moment as the temple is dedicated. And then in chapter 9, God responds to Solomon. God comes to Solomon, appears to him. His presence is there, and he affirms that his presence is in the temple, and he promises a blessing if Solomon and Israel remain faithful. However, he warns of the consequences if they turn away. This chapter also describes some of Solomon's other building projects that he had, his dealings with King Hiram. But it's just a wonderful two chapters here of the dedication and of God's promising that he'll be with them as long as they're with him, and they can pray anytime they want to. So here's a couple of lessons. I think one of the lessons that we need to realize is worship. Worship God. A lot of people say, well, you can go anywhere you want to. You can worship God in the cloud or in the field. You can worship God in nature. You can worship God at home, and you can. You can worship God anywhere, because God is everywhere. But God has this special presence that he has, and it's important to be with God's people. And regardless, it's important to worship God with gratitude and with reverence. To be grateful, to be thankful for all that God has done. And that's what Solomon led the people to do, to be thankful for what God has done and to realize that his presence deserves our respect, deserves our humility, and to be humble before him. And so that's important. Worship God. Place him high on your priority list. Well, actually, at the top of your priority list. And another is the faithfulness. God honored Solomon's efforts, his faithfulness to do exactly what God wanted him to do. And he did. He built that temple exactly how God wanted it, how David wanted it. It's a reminder that it's important to do what God wants us to do. Solomon was faithful. And then we're going to find out that he slips. But it's a reminder of us that just because you start faithful doesn't mean you're going to end faithful. Make sure we continue to do what God wants us to do. I honestly have seen a lot of Christians that started out well and they crashed and burned. And we don't want that. We want steady and continue the pace and go on. Kind of like that old story about the turtle and the rabbit, and when they were racing, steady and slow, the pace that God wants us. He wants us to be faithful. So you be faithful. God bless you as you read. Enjoy today's readings. Only